Good morning, thank you for joining me. Welcome to another video. Today we are talking about travel plans, or lack thereof. I'm filming this the day after Boris's latest announcement about the path out of lockdown, which he did yesterday. And there's no hard and fast. Hospitality is opening properly rather than just outside, not until the 17th of May in England. Assuming I'm not a basket case after another 11 weeks in addition to the 7 we've already done. And I know a lot of parts of the country have done way more than 7 weeks of effective lockdown. Yeah, if I'm not a basket case by then, I wanted to talk to you about some of our plans. And there's still no plan for foreign travellers yet, as is right and proper. You know, they don't know what this year is going to bring or when things can get back to something approaching normal in that regard, understandably. So and I think a further announcement is going to come about that in April or May time, I think he said, but not holding our breaths. But yeah, my thoughts have very much been turning to travel and going places and what we are or aren't going to be able to do this year. So I thought I'd make a video about it. So first of all, let's talk about plans that I've got that are firm. When I say firm, I mean booked sort of thing. And I think I mentioned in last week's vlog that we had a cruise booked to the Norwegian fjords in mid-June. Just let me have a sip of my coffee. I was having a bit of a dilemma as to what to do about that. We made a decision and we have rebooked that cruises with my parents, my brother and his wife, on Cunard, and we have made a decision to rebook that cruise pushed it back to later in the year. We are now booked on a completely different cruise, slightly longer, in August. Whether or not that goes ahead, it remains to be seen, but it's given us another 2 months breathing space in terms of having to pay the final balance of the cruise, by which point I'm hoping there will be more information as to whether it's actually likely to go or not. So currently we have a cruise down the Atlantic coast of Spain and Portugal booked for 10 days in August. May or may not go ahead. The other thing that we have not booked, but we bought a Travelzoo voucher for ages ago, was a trip to Bath, 2 nights in a hotel in Bath that we've stayed in before. Now, as you know, my son William is studying at university in Bath, and prior to all this COVID kicking off, we would go up to Bath probably a couple of times a year and have a couple of days there and catch up with him and take him out for a meal and just spend a little bit of time with him and enjoy Bath as well. It was a good excuse for a couple of days away. Obviously we haven't been able to do that for the last year, so we bought this voucher that could be used when we bought it anytime up to the 31st of March. They have since extended that to the 31st of December this year, so we are intending at some point when William is at uni, so probably autumn time I would think, October, November time, to go to Bath and use that. I have been trying to avoid travel websites as much as possible because with so much uncertainty, I didn't really want to book anything. However, I was sucked in over the weekend by another Travelzoo offer to London, 2 nights at the Hard Rock Hotel for £99 a night, and that's at Marble Arch, just on the corner of Park Lane. Such a good location for us for a trip to London, and such an absolute bargain price. So I booked that. That one is available to use up until the 31st of December next year, 2022. So got a very long lead time on that, but I couldn't resist that offer. I haven't seen an offer that good in central London for a while, quite a while. So got that one on the cards as well at some point, whether that will be this year or next year, who knows. Now, my personal view is that travel outside of Europe is going to be dodgy for the rest of this year. I could be completely wrong about that. As I said, it's only my personal view, but I feel like it will probably be 2022 before Ashley and I are looking at going anywhere long haul. Not particularly because I'm worried about going further afield than Europe with COVID, or yeah, not that I'm worried about it. As you know, I flew last October, November, only to Greece, but yeah, I don't have COVID worries particularly, but I just feel like the travel industry, to go further afield, probably won't get back to anything approaching normal until the end of this year. That's just my personal feeling. And as for Europe, I feel like April, May, possibly June are going to be problematic. Possibly not. I think it depends on the vaccine rollout in Europe, in different countries, and also whether they are accepting people, tourism, back into their countries. Certainly a lot of Europe is in a similar situation to us at the moment as far as lockdown goes, and the vaccine rollout in Europe is way behind the UK at the moment, so their restrictions may continue for longer, I guess. Again, purely speculation, but I would like to think that by the autumn time, September, October, we would be able to go on a holiday. We will probably go to our favourite place in Halkidiki in Greece. We haven't missed a year there for 17 years now, I think it is. So yeah, we would look to be going there for a week to 10 days probably in the autumn before it closes at the end of October. But I wouldn't feel confident at the moment booking anything in Europe personally. Again, all personal choice. Much before that, but again, we just have to wait and see what happens, don't we? But I would like to envisage the fact that we would get a week or 10 days there before the end of the season this year. That would be really nice. The other thing we have coming up this year, that normally I would be booking something to celebrate, and I think hopefully I will be, because the 17th of May is not long before it. It is our silver wedding anniversary, 25 years married on the 2nd of June. Is our wedding anniversary the 2nd of June? Yes, 2nd of June. God, how do I not know my own wedding anniversary? 2nd of June this year, we will have been married 25 years. It will be our silver wedding anniversary. And we'd like to do something to celebrate that. I'd like to do something to celebrate that, slightly more than Ashley, I think. He hasn't shown a lot of interest so far. But for our 20th anniversary, we went to stay at the Shard, at the hotel at the top of the Shard in London, which was amazing, really good. We had a great time. So I don't think we'll be topping that. Haha, see what I did there. But it would be nice to do something. I would quite like to go back to the hotel we got married in. I'm not sure what that's like now, but it would be sort of a fitting thing to do, wouldn't it? It would be quite nice. So yeah, that's a thought. I'm thinking of, it will obviously be in this country. Or we might do like my 50th birthday and put off celebrating until later on at some point, and have a trip for that at some later point. So longer term travel plans, I think the pandemic has made us realise how much, we knew already how much we enjoyed our holidays and travel and travelling and generally seeing the world. But I think the pandemic has really brought back to Ashley and myself how precious that aspect of our life is to us, and how much we really do enjoy it. And I can't wait to be able to go on city breaks again. We've been watching a lot of travel programmes on the TV recently, because that's sort of the only travel you can get at the moment, isn't it? And we'd love to go back to Seville. We went to Seville for a city break back in 2019. I will link it up here, the video that I made at the time. In fact, I might go back and watch it myself, because that would be fun. I'd like to go and reminisce about going to Seville, but we'd love to go back there. And we were watching the Mission Impossible. We've got the box set of the Mission Impossible films, and we're rewatching them from the beginning. And we watched the first one the other night, and a lot of that is set in Prague, and we said how much we'd love to go back to Prague. We've been twice before to Prague, but lovely city, really enjoy a winter city break in Prague. I'd also like to go to Madrid. I've never been to Madrid, and I did a virtual tour. I'll talk to you more about the virtual tours in my favourites video coming up soon. But I did a virtual tour of Perugia in Italy yesterday and so enjoyed it. I really, well, that's definitely on my list now for a city break. I'd love to go there. It's in Umbria. Very much like to go there. More relaxing type of holidays, I'd love to go back to Mallorca and explore that a little bit more. And there are flights coming this summer. I don't know if they're coming this summer now, but EasyJet did advertise that they're doing flights from Bristol to some of the smaller Greek islands, which really interested us. We love the Greek islands and would very much like to visit some of those. A little bit more off the beaten track. It's hard to do that with a week or a fortnight's holiday, but perhaps at some point in the future when we can take a bit more time away from home, away from work, the Greek islands might be something we'd like to do in more depth, in more detail for a little bit longer. Talking of which, I think as well the pandemic has made us think about spending more time on holiday and really maximising our enjoyment of travel. And as you know, we went on a cruise. My first cruise as a passenger, Ashley's second cruise as a passenger, because he went on a school cruise when he was at school, obviously, when he was a student, on the Uganda back in the day. Now that takes us back, doesn't it? Yeah, we did a cruise and we enjoyed it so much more than we thought we were going to. So as you know, we've already got a cruise booked for this year, but I think cruising might be something that we would consider for a longer holiday. I think it remains very much to be seen what the future of cruising is going to look like. I can see that cruising is going to be a problematic industry post-pandemic, or when I say post-pandemic, I mean after the arrival of the pandemic rather than after its departure. I am aware that we are not going to be living in a COVID-free world, just for anyone who wants to pick me up on that, because I got absolutely slated for calling a video travelling in a post-COVID world last year. So just to make that clear before all you keyboard warriors go mental. But yeah, I can very much see cruising being an industry that may well change a lot, and not in a good way in terms of the experience. So that remains to be seen, but I like the idea very much of travelling from Southampton to go somewhere else in the world. It's very convenient, isn't it? Travelling by ship. And cutting out the air travel. But there are so many places on my bucket list that I'd love to go to. I'd love to go back to Las Vegas. I went with a friend a couple of years ago. I'll link that video up here if you haven't seen that one. And I would love to take Ashley. Ashley hasn't been to Vegas. He used to work in a casino. When I first met Ashley, he worked in a casino. And I think he would absolutely love Vegas. So very, very much. That's probably top of my list for long haul travel, would probably be Vegas. That would be the one that I'd like to do next. I've still got that trip to New Orleans on the back burner with my friend Diane, who I went to Vegas with the first time. We've talked about that a lot. Whether that will ever come off or not, I don't know now. It seems almost a thing of the past when we could just nip off, you know, without so much as thinking about it too much, and off we went. But again, both of us would love to go to New Orleans. I'd love to go back to the South Pacific and Hawaii. Again, I think that might be something for a cruise in the future. That's a long, long way to go without seeing quite a lot of what is there. And of course, cruising is a good way to do that. And something I've had in my head for a long time, since we went on the transatlantic cruise, to be honest, is to do the world cruise. I would love to do a world cruise. I'm quite picky about what ports I would go to. I did a world cruise. My first year of working on the cruise ships, I was lucky enough to do the whole 3-month world cruise from Southampton round trip down to Sydney and back again. and we did some brilliant ports on that cruise. And looking at the itineraries for upcoming world cruises, they are not great itineraries, and if I'm going to exchange 3 months of my life for an itinerary, it has to be the right one. Again, that is not something I consider doing in the next 5 or probably even 10 years, but something longer term than that maybe. But and of course, finally, there's so much of the UK that I haven't seen that I'd like to see. I still want to go to York. I never managed to get to York last year, and it's somewhere we both want to go. I'd very much like to go to Oxford or Cambridge. I still haven't been to either of those. There's parts of Scotland that I'd love to travel to. I love Ireland, very much love Ireland. Dublin has a very special place in my heart, and I'd like to go back there one day as well. It's a long time since I've been to Ireland. So many places, so little travel over the last 12 months, and hopefully a little bit more over the next 12 months. I feel like this has been really waffly and not very to the point, but I hope you've enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments if you've got any holiday plans or travel plans for this year, or whether you're going to wait, or whether you feel nervous about going, or just what are your thoughts on travel? Have you got anything booked to look forward to, or are you okay staying at home still? Yeah, I'd be really interested to get a conversation going around the return of travel. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed. I'll see you again soon. Bye bye.